Hello and welcome to Fortissimo. I'm Owen and today we'll be discussing some basic exercises you can do in the gym. Before we get started on some programs you can follow, I'll be referring to some terms that you may never have heard before. Let's get started on the exercise portion, where I'll be referring to sets and reps. A rep is a number of times you perform a specific exercise, and a set is the number of cycles of reps that you complete. I will also mention compound exercises versus isolation. A compound exercise is an exercise that works multiple muscles, whereas an isolation exercise only works a single muscle. Next is progressive overload. Progressive overload is when you increase the workload gradually over time as your muscles accommodate the resistance. This has the objective of gaining strength and/or mass. And finally, volitional fatigue. Volitional fatigue is the point in a set where you can't lift one more rep without cheating it up, like using momentum, leaning way back, etc. Basically, Brad Castleberry. And body terms that I'll be using this video are ectomorph, endomorph, and mesomorph. Ectomorphs have a small frame and small bone structure, a flat chest, small shoulders, thin, lean muscle mass, and they find it hard to gain weight and have very fast metabolism. A mesomorph, looking athletic, with well-defined muscles, a rectangular-shaped body, strong, and gains muscle easily. They also gain fat more easily than ectomorphs. And finally, endomorphs have a soft and round body. They gain muscle and fat very easily, but are generally short and stocky build, round physique. They find it hard to lose fat and have a slow metabolism, and muscles are not very well defined. First, we'll be discussing power training. Power. Although one can train for power, usually people who train for power are more advanced lifters, and some are even power lifters. A power lifter is an athlete who takes sport in lifting, such as Eddie Hall. This type of training is great at burning fat and losing weight. Power lifters are generally endomorphs, but power training can be used by anyone. Power training is used if you want to be more powerful in your movements. The repetition range for someone training for power is 2 to 4 explosive reps and 2 to 4 sets, resting for 8 to 10 minutes between sets, or if you're trying to burn fat, 1 to 2 minutes. A good basic workout if you want to train for power is Olympic bench press. You lay down and bring the bar to your chest and pushing the bar back up to the top of its range of motion. Do this for 2 to 4 reps for 2 to 4 sets. This exercise works your pectorals, your chest, your front deltoid, shoulders, and your triceps. This is a compound exercise. Over time, practice progressive overload. Military press. Sitting down in the machine, extend your arms to the top of the range of motion and back down. This works your pectoris minor, chest, and deltoid, shoulders. Do this for 2 to 4 reps for 2 to 4 sets. Over time, practice progressive overload. Finally, Smith machine squats. Staying with the bar resting on your back, look up with your head and have your feet shoulder width apart. Drop your butt until it reaches or just goes past your knees or parallel to your knees. Push with your legs up to the top of the range of motion. This is a compound exercise working majorly your quads, hamstrings. Do this for 2 to 4 reps for 2 to 4 sets. Once you've become comfortable with this machine, you can move on to barbell squats. The only difference is this targets your rectus abdominis, or your abs. Over time, practice progressive overload. Anyone can train for hypertrophy, but this is if you want to build strength and size like a swimmer's body. People who train for hypertrophy are generally mesomorphs. This type of training builds muscles and can make you stronger. This type of training is usually used by athletes and bodybuilders, like Ronnie Coleman. Hypertrophy is used to create size and build strength. The rep range for someone doing this type of training is 8 to 12 reps for 2 to 3 sets, resting around 5 minutes between sets. A good basic workout for training for hypertrophy is bench press for 8 to 12 reps and 2 to 3 sets. Over time, practice progressive overload and go to volitional failure. This exercise, again, works your pectorals, chest, front deltoid, shoulders, and your triceps. Military press. This is a compound exercise. Do this for 8 to 12 reps for 2 to 3 sets. Over time, practice progressional overload and going to volitional failure. This works your front deltoid, shoulder, and your triceps. Open wrist bicep curls. Supinate your wrists, meaning put your wrist so that it face out, and bring the dumbbell to your chest and squeeze your bicep at the top of the range of motion. Then, bring them back down. This is an isolation exercise, only working your biceps. Do this for 8 to 12 reps for 2 to 3 sets. Over time, practicing progressional overload and going to volitional failure. Tricep rope extensions. Lean forward 45 degrees and tuck your elbows to your sides. Extend your arms fully down and bring them back up. This is an isolation exercise, only working your triceps. Do this for 8 to 12 reps for 2 to 3 sets. Over time, practicing progressional overload and going to volitional failure. And once again, Smith machine squats. This is a compound exercise working majorly your quads and hamstrings. Once you become comfortable with this machine, you can move on to the barbell squats. The only difference is this targets your abdominals, abs, over time practicing progressive overload and volitional failure. Once again, anyone can train for muscular endurance or toning, but those who do are usually athletes that take part in long-distance events such as long-distance swimming, long-distance running, and long-distance biking. These people are usually ectomorphs, and the rep range used in this type of training is 12 to 15 reps for 3 to 4 sets, with little rest between sets, around 1 to 3 minutes of rest between your sets. A good basic workout for someone wanting to train for muscular endurance or toning is machine chest flies. Bring your arms together in front of you, squeezing your chest at the top of the range of motion and back. This is an isolation exercise, only working your pectorals, chest. Do this for 12 to 15 reps for 3 to 4 sets. Arnold curls. Using a dumbbell, complete an open wrist curl, then pronate, opposite of supinate, your wrists and extend your arms over your head in a linear fashion to the top of range of motion. Then bring them back down to your shoulders, supinate your wrists, and finish the curl. This is a compound exercise working your bicep and deltoid, your shoulders. Do this for 12 to 15 reps for 3 to 4 sets. Tricep kickbacks. Using a bench, lean on it and bring your elbows to a 90-degree angle beside you. Then, holding a dumbbell, extend your elbow so that it is parallel to the floor, and bring it back down so it is perpendicular to the floor where it began. This is an isolation exercise, working your triceps. Do this for 12 to 15 reps for 3 to 4 sets. Dumbbell lunges. Having a dumbbell in each arm, lunge forward so that your knee is 90 degrees or perpendicular to the floor, and step back. Alternate your legs. This is a compound exercise working on your quads and hamstring. Do this for 12 to 15 reps for 3 to 4 sets. You can of course modify these small workouts to your pleasure. For example, bench press can be swapped for dumbbell press. The pro of using a dumbbell is it can help fight muscle imbalances. The con, it is a free weight and you can hurt yourself quite easily. Machines are the safest to use. They are on a set path and therefore can't hurt yourself. Although, this does not engage your core when you work out. You also want to do these exercises in a slow and controlled manner, but not in slow motion. To warm up, do 3 sets of 10 push-ups, 60 seconds of jumping jacks, and 3 minutes of biking to get your heart rate up and blood pumping. Have no rest between these sets. First, I will be talking about sprint workouts. Sprinting is based upon powerful movements of the body, and sprinters should run on their toes while sprinting. Otherwise, you should be landing at the middle of your foot. Sprinters can be any body type, but most are generally mesomorphs, such as Usain Bolt. A good basic workout for sprinting is 300-meter sprint, 2 reps, 2 sets, and a 2.5-minute break between each rep. 200-meter sprint, 3 reps for 4 sets. 2-minute breaks between each. Break for 8 minutes. Repeat the same for 2. End with 8 120-meter sprints with walking back as you rest. All runs, excluding warm-up, are done with a range of 75% to 90% capacity. Mid-distance runners can be any body type, but most are generally mesomorphs or ectomorphs. Mid-distance runners should run on the middle of their foot too. A good mid-distance exercise for working out would be 200-meter sprint, walk 50 meters, 150-meter sprint, walk 50 meters, 350-meter sprint, 2 to 3 minute break. Repeat 4 times, then take a 10-minute break, then repeat once more, or 4 reps for 2 sets. 5 sets of 200-meter sprints, and cool down for 800 meters. All runs, excluding warm-up, are done with a range of 75 to 90% capacity. Long-distance runners are usually ectomorphs and sometimes mesomorphs. Long-distance runners should plant their foot mid-foot. A good basic workout for a long-distance runner would be 400-meter intervals on uneven terrain, 4 to 5 sets of the 400-meter sprints with a 3 to 5 minute break between each sprint. 8 hill runs with 10 squat jumps at the top of the hill before running back down, no breaks. 6 sprint runs on flat terrain, 200-meter walk back to the starting point is the break. 800-meter run for cool down, and all runs, excluding the warm-up, should be done at 85 to 90% capacity. A solid warm-up for running is 1 kilometer run and do high knees and karaokes every 100 meters. Butt kicks, karaokes, bounding, and moving stretches. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something new today. Have a very nice day. So I was actually planning on doing another video, but due to time constraints and restrictions and resources and other problems, I'm unable to create this video. I think this video is very interesting, and I will be linking the script to the video down below if you want to go check it out. It's full of great statistics about adversaries for people in the gym. It talks about trans lifters, women lifters, and all sorts of different types of things. I would highly recommend checking it out. Thank you.